Well, hello and welcome. My name is Adrian Hill. I am the host of The Crux, and today I'm delighted to be joined by English royalty. Really, there's no other way to put it. I've had the privilege of knowing this man for a number of years. We worked together closely at a company called Go One. He has since gone on to do amazing things and has launched a new product which I'm really excited to dive into and for him to share that information with you all today. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Mr. Luke Turner. How are you?
I'm good, mate.
That's
Doing
the way.
good.
English
Yeah.
royalty. I thought I should probably get that in at the top, considering that the family does own a castle over in Motherland.
Yeah, look, just to set the record straight, I'm not quite next in line to the throne. And it's
Oh,
not a castle, it's a manor house.
right. Yep.
And it's just a humble 550 years old.
Wow. Okay. So
Um,
it's older than Australia, the manner in which the family resides. That's fantastic. Excellent. Well, welcome to the show. It's great to have you. Obviously, we've known each other for a little while, and we only recently caught up for a barbecue not too long ago. But it's great to sit down officially and chat through a few different things. Now, your experience is really extensive. You've been in the SaaS startup landscape now for probably 10 odd years, working through a few different things. But why don't we, just at the top of the show, why don't you sort of walk us through and share with the viewers a little bit of your history and how you got to where you are now?
well, that's a great question. Originally from the UK, as you touched on, and then we moved over to Australia some 9 years ago. And I got my degree in web programming. I thought I wanted to be a amazing programmer. I was going to change the world, but I wasn't really passionate about it, right? And this will come up again, Adrian. All right. Now, coming to Australia, I actually started by taking on a driving job. Just trying to get work. It was terrible. Like I
Your
was using
driving
my own
skills or the
car.
job?
Oh no, my driving skills are top notch.
Okay, that's good.
You want to see me parallel park? First time, mate. Um, No, it was the job, like, using my own car, using my own fuel. I'm not sure I made a profit on that. But work, some work is better than none work. So,
Yep.
um, anyway, I was trying to get a job as a programmer, enter the workforce, with my degree, and look, it wasn't panning out, and I was trying to meet with different people, and I actually spoke to a mutual contact of ours, Austin Cowan, and I think you were working with him at the time. Actually, was that Data Three?
Yeah, was it Dimension Data?
Dimension Data. Mm. And yeah, so he said, "Look, I don't have anything going on, but you should reach out to some, friends of mine who run a web agency, this little web agency out of Logan." And so I drafted up an email, and I got my CV there, and I shot it through. And a lovely lady called Natasha Tran, or it wasn't Tran at the time, but Natasha responded about an hour later saying, "Hey, this is it's really interesting. Great to meet you. I'll forward it on to our CEO and see if he's interested." And I got an email, I think an hour again after that, from Andrew Barnes
Mr.
saying,
Andrew
"Hey,
Barnes.
Mr. Andrew Barnes. And look, are you available to meet tomorrow?" It's like, yes, absolutely. So we come in, and I come into, this dungeon area, and it's a little place that this web agency is working out of, and there's no space to meet. So we go and have a chat at Nando's.
As you
And
do.
as you do, like a nice formal interview at Nando's. And then essentially had a good chat. It wasn't really a programming role, but there was a support role, to support those web clients. So I could kind of somewhat utilize my degree and my knowledge in programming there. Um, but essentially managing customers.
Yep.
And that was the beginning. So, join Go One. And to be honest, I thought I jumped onto a sinking ship, right? Which is funny, considering where things are at now. But
And
I almost
when was
didn't
this?
stick
This
around.
was back in 2015. What
This
sort of
was, yeah,
time?
this right at the start of 2015.
Yeah.
Right, we're transitioning. Go On, we're transitioning from web agency to full-time like LMS customers, the Juro LMS at the time, and then at the same time, or not long after, applied to Y Combinator and that whole trajectory,
Yep.
and so yeah, I joined, and my boss, was let go the week I joined, and one of two salespeople left, and I thought, oh dear, this is not the place to be. But it was good. The team were tight knit, and we got along, and um, yeah, obviously, the rest is history. So went on from there to kind of take ownership of those customers, and on the LMS side, one of the first CSMs there, and kind of started guiding what customer success looked like at Go One with Chris Agland, and from there to head of customer success for 5 years, and then transition to partnerships. So content partnerships, working with Go One's partners
Yep.
to get content on platform, build that out, what that content offering looked like, and what the strategy was for content, and then to operations. How do we improve our partnerships?
Yeah.
And that
No,
was a
well,
big thing.
you've had a few big roles. Obviously, Go One's primary go to market or number one go to market right now is the content offering. And you were critical in those early stages of shaping that content offering and welcoming content providers into the platform and helping them achieve. How did you find that process early on?
It was good. It was a challenge, to be honest. I think one of the interesting things was Go One has changed the way organizations interact with online training, right? Instead of, going from, I'm going to work with provider A for our compliance and provider B for our soft skills training and provider C for this and that, Go One came in with this solution to say, you can get all of that in the one place. And for one simple subscription, which is cheaper, by the way, you can get access to all of this. And it kind of they've done amazingly well.
Yeah.
And the challenge was in that partnership side was, working with these providers. So because it's a subscription model and the payments are kind of aggregated from revenue across the world, partners might not see the same return initially that they were doing in their original business model, which is, we sell X number of licenses at this number of seat price, or these number of courses at this seat price. And so, yeah, it was difficult to kind of convert their thinking or kind of bring them on board or buy into the bigger vision of, well,
Yep.
Go One has a global audience of, hundreds of millions, which generally is a bigger market than a lot of these individual providers can reach. And so
Sure.
there's two benefits there, and early on, I think when I first joined the content partner space or started leading that area, was reporting, like, how do we leverage the audience to be a bigger benefit for our partners? And so one of those is feedback. Like any company, it doesn't matter what products you have, you have to iterate on your product and improve. And like if you want to grow, you need to get that feedback. You need to understand how people are using it, how they want to use it, and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you iterate and improve that way. And we want
Yeah.
to feed that back into partners.
Yeah, fantastic. No, I think it's definitely come a long way from those early days of Go One Comply with the
Mm,
6 compliance courses and to the catalog that they have now. It's a real testament to yourself and the content team. But I suppose moving on, obviously you spent 8 odd years there, did amazing things at Go One, grew the customer success team, and then moved into that content space. And we were both fortunate enough to work with some really impressive mentors within Go One. So I suppose that leads me into the next thing you're working on now as the founder and CEO of MentorPlace. So how did this come to fruition? Where did this all come from?
Yeah. So, going through all of that at Go One, all that blood, sweat, and tears, all those late nights, the the heart-wrenching times. I thought, this is really hard. I'm gonna do it again. Um,
What's the
so,
the insanity doing the same thing over and over again?
oh, expecting a different result.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Um, no, look, it is hard, and I was listening to your chat with Barry the other day, and he touched on the same thing. Like, it is hard, um, but it's also rewarding. And so I think, to the point around mentoring specifically, I wouldn't be doing this, or I definitely wouldn't be as far along as I am, um, if I didn't have people to lean on, in terms of guidance or support or encouragement. And those are all things that mentors provide. And so at Go One specifically, like, Chris was a really good friend, is a really good friend, I should say. Uh, but also, a great mentor. And it's funny because we're the same age, Chris and I,
Yep.
but just miles ahead in terms of like maturity and so many different levels, and experience. And so it's hugely beneficial to kind of be able to pick his brain on different topics, especially in, building a startup. So, and
Yeah. Yeah. I
it's
mean,
not just Chris as well.
yeah, he's. I mean, it's definitely. He was thrust into the deep end early, wasn't he? As the co-founder of a $3.5 billion tech company. Now he had to grow up really really quickly, and he's a great source of inspiration and motivation from that leadership point of view. And he's super intelligent, obviously, with his law background and just leveraging that. So I I believe he's on the MentorPlace platform as a mentor.
He is.
It's very
He is. So
exciting.
it's not just me who can benefit from Chris's knowledge and expertise. Yeah, and there's, all of them, all the founders of Go One, I've met with and have been, helpful. So, Vutran I meet with, fairly regularly, and Chris Hood and Andrew Barnes. So, all amazing people, who are giving of their time.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. And then, so, Mentor Place, really
Yeah.
exciting initiative, really exciting product. It's great to see moving out of the Go One sphere. And there's a few people now that have sort of ex Go One employees that have sort of moved out into their own and started to, as I said, with Barry, scratch that entrepreneurial itch. But why don't you, for the viewers at home, sort of walk us through a little bit more about Mentor Place and what that is?
Yeah. So, MentorPlace, I guess, sorry, to touch on your question before, how we came to MentorPlace, effectively sitting down and trying to understand how I got to where I was. And, I was having a chat with, uh, one of my team at the time, Frankie, and, we were talking about how we got to where we were and why we, aren't using the degrees or the history that we have, and where we're not where we thought we would be. Um, but we're excelling at where we are,
Yeah.
right? And so, could we have come to this position, this knowledge, this, capacity sooner, right? Did we have to go through the hard yards? Did we have to figure things out? Did we have to spend, tens of thousands of dollars on a degree that we don't use? The answer is probably not, right? But is there another solution to reach that? And to be honest, I didn't think so. Um, and that's what we initially wanted to solve with MentorPlace. It's an area that you can go to, or anyone can go to guarantee, a one-on-one connection with someone who can provide guidance to you in, whatever you're seeking. So initially, or the biggest proponent of that is career, obviously. Do I can I speak to Adrian Hill about sales because I want to get into sales in tech? Can I talk to Adrian Hill about, starting a podcast and partnerships? And like, there's a whole bunch of things that you have experience in that you can provide guidance in. Um, but also it's not just that. We did a survey and overnight we got 120 responses from people saying that they were willing to pay for guidance. And it wasn't just careers, right? Like it was personal finances, relationships, well-being. So there's a whole bunch of areas. And so I really, the ethos behind it is like there are people out there who have experience and are willing to give back and help others. And it's not just limited to career either.
Yeah.
Although that's, I think, the biggest reason why people come, that they stay for other areas as well.
Yeah.
And
No,
so,
there's
yeah,
lots of different options, lots of different categories on the platform already.
yeah, yeah. There's, you can kind of connect on one thing, and you're not limited to one person as well. You generally not Adrian Hill. You may not know all things. You
I
may not.
definitely
I'm not going to
don't.
say that with certainty, but you may not know all things. So why not connect with Adrian and Luke and Steve and Bob, um, and Charlotte? And so you can connect with people on different things, and they can provide their expertise on that area. So
Yeah. No,
yeah,
it's a fantastic. I mean, it is a great way. I didn't go to university myself. I went to, I joined the army and then went through the corporate ranks and learnt along the way. But I think everyone's journey is a little bit different, and you can take bits and pieces from everything. So you got your degree, and I think it obviously provided certain amounts of value along the way. But mentoring and finding that right person who has effectively been through the weeds already, they can really shorten your ramp to success, because they can give you the wins, they can give you the losses, and they can really help you manage the expectations along the way. So I think it's a fantastic product that's going to provide real value for a lot of people.
yeah, yeah. And I think about university, and um, it teaches you the foundations. It gives you that foundational knowledge of an area or a subject. um, and it's the theory. Like generally, it's the theory, but you talk to someone who's been in a career and they've done it, and maybe you're talking about raising capital or whatever. Like these are practical things that you get direct first-hand knowledge of. And I think that's the missing piece about kind of trying to join the workforce for the first time, especially, is you don't know how the real world works.
Yeah.
um, and so being able to connect with someone and ask them really, if you've got an interest in a specific job, right, or a specific role or a specific industry, you can connect with someone and ask what it's really like,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
up until that point you have no idea.
No, yeah, absolutely. It's a shortcut. It is really finding someone that you can leverage, lean on for their experience. It is a shortcut to success, whether that is, whether that's in business, as you said, or learning a language, or
Yeah,
nutrition, or getting into a sporting endeavor, whatever it is. Having someone who can give you, I suppose, you're a big gamer. I remember when I was a young kid, you used to get those cheat codes, and you could cheat on the games. In essence, having a really strong mentor, or a selection of mentors, effectively gives you those cheat codes for life. You can tap into them, understand their experience. They can give you, they can kind of guide you away from those areas that are going to cause you the most grief and pain. Sometimes they're also fun to go through to build that thick skin and learning. But yeah, it's a really strong way to fast track that success. So
mm.
I suppose you've got the product, you've launched the product, you've got the SaaS, the software built. What's next for MentorPlace?
Yeah, so, and that's a great question. So, initially started as that B2C marketplace, this idea that, you can come to this one place, mentorplace.com, and you can find experts in different areas, diverse range, and you can connect with them guaranteed, right? And you're compensating them for their time, right? Like it's their time, their expertise, And so there's paying per session there, and the benefit is you're guaranteeing time. Now, we can touch on that again in a second, but this B2C marketplace was I'd started thinking about, well, how do we scale this a bit better? And I'm talking to people at the same time. I'm thinking about how do you get this into the B2B space? Can MentorPlace work for an organization? We have a network ever-growing network of expertise here in a diverse range of areas. If we go to organization A, what are they doing? From my time at Go One, I know that organizations buy online training,
Yep.
but they also spend L&D budget on coaching and external mentors and all of that sort of stuff already. So there is a market there, and there's a need and a desire. So I started thinking about, well, how do you play into that B2B space? And at the same time, I was talking to people, about joining the platform as a mentor, and I started like getting this recurring question, and it was, this is really cool. Like, this is amazing. It's really clean technology and yada, yada, yada. It's like, obviously all complimentary. Thank you. But the question was, do you sell this? I was like, oh, I mean, how do you mean? Like, well, could we use this in our organization? Like, could we build revolutionize our mentoring program internally with this technology? And it was like towards what I was thinking. And I was focusing more on like, matching our marketplace with internally. So now, the future of what we're doing and what is soon to be, released is the SaaS platform, right? So we sell the technology to organizations that they can then power their own internal mentoring and coaching program. And that has a whole number of benefits, least of which being increased retention and engagement from the employees.
Yep.
And that saves costs for organizations over time anyway. But also like it just like there's a lot of organizations who are trying to do mentoring programs at the moment. And it galls me when I hear about like how they're trying to do it. Typically it'll be, here's a list of people who want to be a mentor, and here's a list of people who want to mentor, and we're gonna manually match them up. And you might have a team of people doing that. So there's already like a heap of cost on that side. You're spending all these salaries kind of matching up people. And then also like you're kind of out of luck if the person you connect with isn't meshing with you. So there's like a minor problem on that side. But like also it just falls over so quickly. You have a mentoring program, you kind of say, hey, Luke, reach out to Adrian, and I'll email you, Adrian, and you'll say, yep, cool, look, love to meet. Let's meet in 2 weeks' time. And then we wait 2 weeks, and then you say, oh, I've actually got another meeting, so let's push this back another 2 weeks. And it just kind of goes round and round. Maybe I have something come up. Like it's difficult, right? It's
Yeah.
inconvenient. And so it falls over pretty quickly. Even though both parties might be interested in it, it's hard to kind of make happen. And so MentorPlace as a platform for an organization makes that easier, right? Like we take care of all the scheduling, and it's got dynamic, sync with your work calendar and your personal calendar. And so, if you get a meeting, it's going to block it out in the platform. You get a booking in the platform, it's going to block it out in your calendars. So you never have this problem of scheduling.
Yeah.
And we also have inbuilt video, right? And goals. So if you want to walk and talk, you can access it on your phone, load up the video, we can have a chat. Like convenience is a big part of it,
For sure.
for solving it, and that's been the focus. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that we do, but I don't want to bore you with features. I'm not trying to do a feature reel here.
Give me a feature. Give me a features and benefits spiel.
Oh,
Um,
well.
where do I start? No, but for those listening that are interested in either becoming a mentor or jumping on to find a mentor, how do they go about that?
Yeah, so on a website, mentorplace.com, you can head over to the Become a Mentor page, and there's a a sign up there, and there is a approvals process. It's very brief, super easy, and we can get you onto the platform. We are looking for people globally, right? With diverse expertise. So if you think you have something to share, an experience or proficiencies that you think you can help others with, by all means, please sign up.
Yeah, it's and it's fantastic. Um I jumped on board and registered, and I really love the ability for the mentors to assign the cost of that session to a charity if that's what they so desire to do. I think it's a really great initiative to sort of give back to the community. It's almost operating full circle, isn't it? Someone pays for the services and the guidance of someone who has been through the trenches, so to speak, and then it goes back full circle. It's a lovely initiative.
Yeah, like the idea of mentoring, at its core is giving back, right? Like you have, something that you can give to someone else and help them. And, with that idea of partnering with charities, you know, some mentors or people who want to give back aren't motivated by being compensated for their time. It's purely about helping others. And so you do that on twofold, right? You help the mentees that you meet with, but also you're helping a good cause that you care about. And so, yeah, mentors have the option to pick a charity they care about, and any compensation goes to them.
Yeah, oh, that's fantastic. No, it's a wonderful product and a great initiative, and I'm truly happy like to see you out in the wild and letting the world experience your experiences and your knowledge and to be able to do that. So it's great to see you out there kicking some goals and taking a risk and launching your own business.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I think, from a partnership perspective, um, we were talking about this before, and you had, you know, what are the benefits of partnerships? And I was thinking about that, how that plays into MentorPlace as an organization, and thinking about how, I wouldn't be here without partners, right? Like partners in different respects. You talk about like partners and connections. Um, that's a big part of it. And from my time at Go One and the experience on the partnership side as well, like I think in terms of growth for us as a business, but also being able to get this out there and provide this sort of assistance and benefit to as many individuals as possible. Like that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah,
And so we have been working on that, and we're set up to basically be a multi-tenancy solution as well. So the platform is white label. You can work with an organization, and so if there was a partner who wanted to resell or refer, in that regard, then they can do that. They could deliver the platform also to their customers or build it into their product suite, and then
fantastic.
through that way as well. So partners are a major, um, growth opportunity for both parties. And that's the core of it. Your partnership, right? Like you're
Yeah,
working together for mutual benefit.
yeah,
Um, and it's the same for mentoring as well.
yeah,
Mentee and
absolutely.
mentors both benefit.
Yeah, working together for mutual benefit. There's no better way to put it. That's what partnerships is at the core, at the crux of what we're trying to achieve through the industry, is that mutually beneficial environment. So I am just conscious of time. It's been an absolute pleasure to sit down and chat with yourself, Luke. As I said, a wealth of knowledge, and I'm really excited to see what you and the team can achieve at MentorPlace. I will obviously add some links below this video for those that want to reach out. But the best way for them to reach out is, I'm assuming, either through LinkedIn or email, the website.
Yeah. Yeah, you can connect with me on LinkedIn and reach out that way. We have some contact forms on our website if you want to go through there, and
Yeah.
I'll get those too.
No, that's fantastic. Excellent. Well, an absolute pleasure as always, Luke. I wish you nothing but absolute success. And I look forward to our next Brazilian barbecue catch up with the lovely Ricardo cooking for us.
Absolutely.
But yeah, until next time, we'll chat to you soon.
Appreciate it, mate. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Bye.
Don't forget to follow Crux PRM on LinkedIn or cruxhq.com to register as a guest.